Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. My name is Tony Huey, and as Chair of the Board of Debating SA, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2018 Debating SA Year 8 Grand Final. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional country of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains. We recognise and we respect their cultural heritage, their beliefs, and their relationship with this land. Debating, as we all know, is an enjoyable and a very worthwhile activity. It helps develop skills to do with research, teamwork, clear thinking, empathy, reflection, communication, and self-confidence. Today is the conclusion to another great season of debating. This year we've seen a record 261 teams representing 64 primary and secondary schools across all the Adelaide sectors. And I thank and I commend all debaters who have taken part this year. At Debating SA, we are always looking for debaters who are keen to move to the next step and become an adjudicator. If any of you in the audience know a person who is in year 10 or above who would like to consider becoming an adjudicator, please contact us. Debating SA provides all the training, and it's a great way to advance your skills into broader fields within the association. Debating SA has and has always been totally committed to promoting and supporting debating as a highly valuable and worthwhile skill for our young people. We're very honoured indeed to have the ongoing support and the patronage of the Governor of South Australia, His Excellency Hugh Van Lay. All teams taking part in today's Grand Finals will be presented with a medallion of recognition at a ceremony on Friday the 2nd of November at Sacred Heart College in Somerton Park, commencing at 5:30 p.m. Detailed arrangements will be advised soon via our website and by direct communication with all debaters. My sincere thanks to my fellow members on the board, and in particular to James Tran, to Sonia Lowen and David Morton for their unstinting commitment and hard work in organising and running our program, as well as providing training and resources for our schools. I thank the army of parents, coaches, teachers, adjudicators, families and helpers, all of you here today, who have provided invaluable support and assistance for all our debaters. We thank our host schools for so generously making available their facilities and staff so that we can run our debating evenings, and a special thank you to Nazareth College for providing a venue for training. We're very grateful to the Honourable Stephen Marshall, Premier of South Australia, and the Honourable David Spears, Member for Black, and all their parliamentary colleagues for kindly and generously facilitating the use today of this wonderful venue. We also sincerely thank the Parliamentary House staff at the front for their assistance throughout this day. This place, the House of Assembly Chamber in our state's Parliament, stands as a very powerful and enduring symbol of democracy, free speech, and the opportunity for rigorous, challenging and respectful debate. It is the most suitable and appropriate venue to hear our top debaters in Year 8 for 2018. So all the very best to our two Grand Final teams today. I'm sure we're in for a very enjoyable and engaging exchange of thoughts and ideas. And so without further ado, let the debating begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 Year 8 Division Debating SA Grand Final Debate. My name is Rachel W. Lee, and I am the chairman of this debate. The timekeeper is Marlet Nagash. The topic of this debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. The affirmative team seated to my right is from Glenunga International High School, consisting of first speaker, Cruz Cho, second speaker, Lauren Clark, and third speaker, Hanson Wang. The negative team seated to my left is from St. Aloysius College, consisting of first speaker, Mia Konopka, second speaker, Linnell Chung, and third speaker, Alicia Nair. This grand final debate will be judged by a panel of 5 adjudicators who are Mr. Lachlan Hensley, Ms. Claire Hale, Mr. Mitchell Bronker, Ms. Alexander Wilder, and Ms. Bonville. The speaking time of this debate is 4 minutes. A single warning bell will sound at 3 minutes, and a double bell will sound at 4 minutes. If required, a continuous bell will sound 30 seconds after the second bell, indicating that the speaker must conclude their speech. I ask that all mobile phones and other electronic devices be switched off for the duration of the debate. I declare this debate open and call upon Cruz to open the affirmative case.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line at the US Open. We define the topic as professional tennis player Serena Williams crossed the line as an idiom for behaving in a way that is unacceptable, and for the context of this debate, we refer to the final of the 2018 US Open game. Serena Williams not only broke the rules of the competition, but also the unwritten moral codes that athletes and role models follow. As the affirmative team, we believe that this statement is irrefutably true. Today's first speaker, I will be speaking to you about how Serena Williams falsely cited sexism as an excuse for her poor on-court behaviour. I will also be speaking to you about how Serena Williams is a well-known ambassador for sport and should act as a role model. Our second speaker, Lauren, will be speaking to you about the rule violations that she conducted during the tennis match, as well as how she stole the spotlight from her opponent, Naomi Osaka. And our third speaker, Hansen, will rebut and sum up our team case. I shall be discussing 2 points. My first point is that Serena Williams falsely cited sexism on behalf of umpire Carlos Ramos, using it as a distraction for her poor behaviour. And in doing this, Williams not only undermined the real concerns of the match, the fact that she crossed the line and broke rules, but that she also undermined real-world examples of legitimate sexism that underpin the sport and our patriarchal society. During the second set, Serena Williams argued against the code violations, citing them as sexism and bias against women, stating, "There's a lot of men out here that have said a lot of things, but if they're men, that doesn't happen to them. Because I'm a woman, he's going to take this away from me." She believed that she received her first warning due to the mere fact that she is a woman. However, this umpire is known for rigidly enforcing and penalising breaches of the rules. Novak Djokovic, along with many other men, such as Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray, have lashed out numerous times for his umpiring. Nadal threatened Ramos, saying that he would never chair one of his matches again. This sounds awfully similar to what Williams stated, saying that "you will never, ever be in another court of mine as long as you live." These statements both had the same result, a warning, and just goes on to prove that he was just being strict and not sexist. His reaction had nothing to do with her gender in any way, but rather her obviously improper and out-of-line behaviour. By using sexism as an excuse for her bad behaviour, she committed a red herring fallacy, where an irrelevant topic is introduced into an argument to mislead the audience from the original or relevant issue. Using sexism as an excuse for crossing the line is a particularly problematic issue, because doing so when there's absolutely no evidence of sexism undermines very real concerns about gender equality that plague all areas of society, not just the tennis court. Now to my second point. Serena Williams is a role model to thousands of children worldwide, including her opponent Naomi Osaka, who told reporters that it was always her dream to play Williams in the US Open finals, so she was really glad that she was given the opportunity to do that. As an idol, a role model, and an ambassador for her sport, Serena Williams is expected to showcase a certain level of respectful behaviour or sportsmanship while she is on the court. Serena Williams is a world champion, and with 23 final Grand Slam wins, she knows the proper etiquette and behaviour expected at a tennis match. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the affirmative team, without a doubt believe that Serena Williams did in fact cross the line at the 2018 US Open. Nobody likes to lose, but being a sore loser is not acceptable at any level of this sport. By disrespecting the umpire, having a temper tantrum, and falsely crying sexism when called out on her behaviour, it is easy to see that Serena Williams crossed the line. She needs to take her own advice. As quoted from Williams herself, "I don't like to lose at anything, yet I've grown most not from my victories but from my setbacks." We hope she grows from the setback. Thank you.
upon Mia Konopka to open the negative case.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. We agree with some elements of the affirmative definition. However, we define crossing the line as to go too far or to overstep a boundary, rule or limit. However, we the negative team know that this statement is false. Today, as first speaker, both my points will be about the inconsistent application of the tennis rules. Our second speaker, Linnell, will discuss how Serena Williams was defending herself and her reputation, and how she took a stand for women around the world. Our third speaker, Aloysius, will rebut and sum up our team case. I will begin with rebuttal. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Serena Williams should have understood the rules of tennis are important. We disagree with this because Serena was accused of being a cheater, which she felt targeted her character. She did understand that the rules of tennis are important and assured that the tournament umpires of this. Serena was just taken aback by the unfairness of some of the penalties applied and chose to take a stand against it. This does not mean she crossed the line. The first affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that Carlos Ramos was just doing his job, enforcing the rules fairly. We disagree with this because, according to USA Today, Marty Somat, former Egyptian tennis player, believes that Ramos did not enforce the rules fairly, saying Ramos couldn't wait to issue that warning without even thinking for a second to make sure Serena saw her coach and received information or not. He had terrible judgment. Ramos was rash and reckless, an unfair umpire who did not get all of the detail before making a decision. Ramos was the one being unfair, so why is Serena being punished? Today I'll be discussing 2 points. My first point is about the inconsistent way tennis rules are applied and how the rules or line are constantly moving. As I previously mentioned, we define the line as the rules of tennis. However, these rules are not consistently applied. Just one day after the women's final, Novak Djokovic smashed his racket in the men's final, with no code violation given. At the French Open last year, Rafa Nadal verbally abused Carlos Ramos, the same umpire at Williams' match. Nadal, again, didn't receive any code violations. At the Queen's Club final in 2012, David Nalbandian seriously assaulted a linesperson by kicking him in the shin. Nalbandian was only fined $12,560. However, Williams was fined $17,000. Nalbandian was fined less than Williams, even though he was violent and Williams was not. This inconsistency unfairly benefits some players and is evidence of the double standard in tennis. Clearly, other players are getting away with much more aggressive on-court crimes, yet their penalties were much smaller. There wasn't a line to be crossed, as the inconsistency of rules on that day meant there was no defined line, which was the problem, not Serena Williams. She can't possibly cross the line. No one knows where the line actually is. Now to my second point. Serena did not cross the line. She simply spoke out against the inconsistency, which threatens the integrity of tennis itself, the game that Serena loves so much. The application of rules in tennis were undeniably unjust in this women's final. Serena challenged this and was harshly penalised for standing up for what she believed was right, for her and tennis. She wasn't crossing the line, she was being a champion for equity and justice in tennis. People knew that the severe penalty didn't match the on-court scenario. Williams' outburst was about starting a long overdue change in tennis. Additionally, John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors were known to say worse to an umpire without getting a code violation. Retired tennis player Andrew Roddick also supports Williams, stating, "I've regrettably said worse and I've never gotten a game penalty." This is evidence of the differing application of rules, which Williams only highlighted. Her strong stance will bring important positive changes to tennis. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we the negative team are certain Serena Williams didn't cross the line in the US Open. She can't cross the line if the placement of the line is always changing, and she was drawing attention to the inconsistent standards in tennis for the benefit of the game. Thank you.
To continue the affirmative case, please welcome Lauren.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for today's debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is indisputably true. Before I get to my points, I would first like to discuss some flaws in the opposition's arguments. The first negative speaker referenced and used a statement that declared there was not gender equality during the game. However, the International Tennis Federation stated, Carlos Ramos is one of the most experienced and respected umpires, and his decisions were in accordance with the relevant rules and were reaffirmed by the US Open's decisions to fine Serena Williams for 3 offences. The first negative speaker also discussed how unfair the rules are and showed an example of how breaking rackets are allowed in men's games. This debate is not focused around whether the match was sexist and had unfair rules. This debate is focused around whether or not she crossed the line, and as we have stated, she absolutely did. She also justified her actions about Serena Williams because she spoke about the inconsistencies. This does not justify her response, and her language is not okay, as I will expand on later. Our first speaker discussed the moral violations Serena Williams broke. Today, I will be focusing on the tennis rules violations that Serena Williams breached during the match, and the impact her behaviour had on the umpire and her opponent. To my first point, discussing how Serena Williams crossed the line by breaking the rules of the game. Naomi Osaka dominated the first set, breaking Serena Williams' serve twice and winning 6-2. Early in the second set, umpire Carlos Ramos gave Williams a code violation for coaching. Serena argued with the umpire, however her coach later admitted that he was coaching her. The Grand Slam rulebook states, players shall not receive coaching during a match. Communications of any kind, audible or visible, between a player and a coach may be construed as coaching. After losing her serve to Osaka a few games later, Williams smashed and destroyed her racket on the court in anger, causing the second code violation. Umpire Ramos penalised her a point in accordance with the Grand Slam rulebook that states, players shall not violently or with anger hit, kick or throw a racket or other equipment within the precincts of the tournament site. When Osaka was leading 4-3, Williams' abuse escalated to accusing the umpire of being a liar and then a thief. This verbal abuse was derogatory and intentional, so in accordance with the Grand Slam rulebook that states, players shall not at any time, directly or indirectly verbally abuse an official, Ramos issued Williams her third code violation. This third offence culminated in a game penalty. She had disrespected the game and therefore she crossed the line. Now to my second point, discussing how Williams' unacceptable behaviour crossed the line and impacted others. Williams' temper tantrum was a bad example to young players and demonstrated to viewers that disagreeing with and disrespecting the umpire is acceptable. Naomi Osaka deserved celebrating her victory in the spotlight amongst a cheering crowd while on the winner's podium. But instead, her moment was completely overshadowed by Serena Williams' behaviour throughout the match, and a crowd of Williams supporters that erupted in booing. This resulted in Naomi Osaka pulling her cap down to cover her face while waiting for her championship trophy. In conclusion, it is clear to anyone who watched the match that Serena Williams did cross the line. Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Serena Williams reacted to being outplayed by a better opponent by smashing her racket. She reacted to not having her code violations ignored by constant disruptive arguing. She should have upheld the integrity of a professional player and waited until after the match to lodge a formal complaint. Crossing the line resulted in the match ending on an unharmonious note and diminished Osaka's triumph and superior performance by the enormous controversy. Thank you.
To continue the negative case, please welcome Linnell Chong.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. However, we the negative team know that this statement is false. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Serena Williams did cross the line because she received coaching. We disagree with this because, as the second affirmative speaker has already stated, the International Tennis Federation rules state that communications of any kind between a player and a coach may be construed as coaching. This supposed coaching can only be justified if it goes both ways, but in Serena's case, it only went one way. Magdi Somat, a former tennis umpire, says that it would have been impossible for Ramos to confirm the coaching violation based on a careful reading of the rule. Ramos presumed that Serena received coaching, and this is not fair to Serena. Serena Williams could not have possibly crossed the line if she didn't actually receive coaching. The second affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that Serena Williams deserved to have the point taken away from her because she broke her racket. This is wrong because there have been instances of tennis players smashing their racket to the ground without a code violation. An example of this was in 2015 at the Australian Open when Nick Kyrgios was playing Andy Murray. When Kyrgios made an unforced error, he smashed his racket on the ground in frustration, but he didn't get a code violation. According to the umpire, Kyrgios didn't deserve to have the point taken away, so Serena doesn't have this either. Our first speaker has already stated how the line is inconsistent and how Serena spoke out on this inconsistency. Today, I will be talking about 2 points. My first point is that Serena is taking a stand for herself and her reputation. Serena Williams is a legendary tennis player. Throughout her career, she had to overcome body shaming, sexism, and racism. Williams remarked, "I didn't grow up with things handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined." Umpire Carlos Ramos accused her of cheating, and Serena fiercely defended herself, saying, "I don't cheat to win, I'd rather lose." When Ramos accused her of cheating, he questioned her personal integrity. She said, quote, "You are attacking my character, and that's wrong. You owe me an apology." She fought to uphold her reputation as someone who plays fair and stands up for what is right. Serena called Ramos a thief because he took a point away from her, points which he has rightfully earned. Serena did not cross the line because she stood up for herself, for her reputation as an honourable and fair tennis player, and also as someone people can look up to. My second point is that Serena is taking a stand for feminism. The sporting world is dominated by masculinity, so when female athletes show aggression and frustration, qualities typically shown by men, they challenge the stereotypical notion of femininity. A study by Amanda R. Hoynes from the University of Tennessee found that males rated female athletes participating in the more masculine sports, such as softball and basketball, as being less respectable than female athletes participating in the more feminine sports, such as figure skating and track. However, women rated female athletes participating in the more masculine sports as being more respectable than female athletes participating in the feminine sports. This finding suggests that women seem to respect other women who challenge gender roles, whereas men see these same women as being less respectable than their more feminine counterparts. By women expressing their emotions, men feel intimidated, not respecting those who challenge them. Serena Williams overtly expressed opinions, and it was seen as a hysterical outburst. Umpire Carlos Ramos wanted to exert his dominance and shut this hysterical woman down. Serena did not cross the line. In fact, she is the one who drew the line. She, in her own frustration, stood her ground, challenging the double standard. Billie Jean King, former world women's #1 professional tennis player, captures this differential treatment perfectly, saying, "When a woman is emotional, she's hysterical, and she's penalized for it. When a man does the same, he's outspoken, and there are no repercussions." Thank you, Serena Williams, for calling out this double standard. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we the negative team undeniably believe that Serena Williams did not cross the line in the US Open. Serena drew the line, standing for herself and for all women who have been told to suppress their emotions. She, as a role model, rose above societal norms, refusing to remain within the walls of gender inequality. Thank you.
conclude the affirmative case, I call upon Hanson Wang.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for today's debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is undeniably true. As third speaker of the affirmative team, I will be rebutting the points posed by the negative team and also summarising our team's case. The first speaker for the negative team spoke about players committing the same code violations and not being punished as harshly. This may be true, but this is a wider problem regarding the enforcement of the rules, not whether Serena actually broke them. Whether other players had been punished in the same way is not relevant. Serena did break these rules, and as a fair umpire, Carlos Ramos rightly charged her. Serena broke these in a grand final, where millions gather to watch high-quality tennis. She turned this into a spectacle, and the context that she broke these rules under, as well as the way that she behaved, surely justifies her punishment. If somebody was caught speeding, they do not justify their actions because somebody else wasn't caught. It may be so that these rules are not well enforced, but we cannot say that Serena wasn't crossing the line because the rules were upheld. The first speaker for the negative team also stated that not every tennis player acts well and accordingly. This may be true, but does not make it right. We shouldn't bend the rules and allow people to act in such a disgraceful manner just because other people do it as well. Serena Williams behaved poorly and was treated accordingly. The second speaker for the negative team spoke about how the umpire was sexist and did not treat her like he treats male competitors, or Billie Jean King agreeing with her that men don't face repercussions. This is irrelevant and does not justify her actions regarding this specific game, because she did do, in fact, all the things that she was violated and punished for. Despite claiming men are punished, according to the Times, men were fined 344 times compared to 144 times for women that caused audible obscenity. This clearly shows that men who misbehave and have poor language also get punished. And when it came to all fines, male players were slapped with 1,517 fines compared to the 535 fines for females, according to data compiled by officials at Grand Slam tournaments for the period covering 1998 to 2018. The second negative speaker also discussed how Serena was defending her own reputation. There are ways to stand up for yourself without breaching rules, and one way she could have done this is by submitting a formal complaint after the match, rather than crossing the line during the match and causing unnecessary confrontation. I will now summarise the points stated by our first and second speakers. Our first speaker, Cruz, has stated that the blame Serena put on sexism is invalid because other male athletes have also blamed Carlos Ramos' bad umpiring to their losses. She also talks about the fact that Serena Williams is a role model and how she should act like one on the court. Our second speaker, Lauren, discussed about how Serena Williams did cross the line in the sense that she broke the rules as stated in the guidebook of tennis. Her own coach even admitted to guiding her behind the stand. Lauren also discussed how Serena Williams stole the spotlight from Naomi Osaka, who truly deserved the win. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, it is clear through the evidence presented by my team that Serena Williams' controversial performance in the US Open final against her opponent, Naomi Osaka, placed her in the wrong. She might be able to dispute a penalty, but what she cannot dispute is the fact that she crossed the line, and it's very hard to see otherwise. Thank you.
To conclude the negative case and this morning's debate, I call upon Alicia now.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Serena Williams crossed the line in the US Open. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. Now I will begin by rebutting some of the opposition's arguments. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that the umpire was not sexist. We disagree with this because it is clear that he is a sexist umpire. The umpire Carlos Ramos could act as a good and so-called experienced umpire chosen to defuse the situation, but instead chose to fuel the argument itself. He wanted to assert his dominance and show that he was superior as an umpire and a man. When Serena questioned his statements, the umpire became agitated and, without warning, took the game away from her, determining the result of the game. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that sexism is not related to this debate. We disagree with this because this debate is focused on whether or not Serena crossed the line. We are supporting our case by saying that these code violations were, in fact, sexist when they were enforced. The third affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Serena Williams broke the rules, which is why she crossed the line. We do agree with the opposition that Serena did break the rules, but believe that it is not enough to say she crossed the line. Serena may have broken the rules, but she did it to stand up for her beliefs, dealing with an issue so much more important than the rules. She broke the rules to stand up for feminism and to challenge the double standard in tennis. Serena may have broken the rules, but she did it to stand up for what is right, something well within the lines of what is acceptable, which is why Serena Williams did not cross the line. The third affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that it's not okay to apply a standard of, if men can get away with it, women should be able to too. We disagree with this because it's not about what gender can get away with certain things. It's about what actions are penalised in comparison to both genders. It's not about men being able to say certain things, whilst women can't. It's about the fairness of the penalties given and the environment they were given in. Serena stated that if a man were in her place, he wouldn't have been penalised. She's saying that you only penalise me because I'm a woman, and when a man says the same thing, he's not penalised. Women are equal to men, and this was not evident in a US Open match. Now I'll move on to my summary. Our first speaker spoke to you about the inconsistency of the line. The line and its rules aren't consistently applied and are subjective based on the umpire. Serena's male counterparts are getting away with far more aggressive on-court behaviour, yet the penalties are much smaller. She also said that Serena did not cross the line. She spoke out against the inconsistency, which is threatening the integrity of tennis. The application of tennis rules are unjust, and when Serena challenged this, she was harshly penalised. Our second speaker spoke to you about how Serena took a stand for herself and her reputation. The umpire accused her of cheating, questioning her personal integrity. She fought righteously to uphold her reputation, doing this without crossing the line. She also stated that Serena was taking a stand for feminism. She expressed her opinions and it was seen as an hysterical outburst. The umpire wanted to shut this hysterical woman down. Serena stood her ground and challenged this double standard. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we the negative team strongly believe that Serena did not cross the line. The inconsistency of the line and its subjectivity between umpires is unacceptable and highlighted the clear sexism evident in tennis. Her personal integrity was wrongfully questioned, and this was reflected in her reaction. She fought for equality, for her reputation, and for all those women who had been told to suppress their emotions. Serena did not cross the line in the US Open. She drew a new one that fought against inequality, fought for women, and fought for what is right. She showed this line to everyone. Serena Williams did not cross the line in the US Open. Thank you.
representative of the Adjudication panel to come forward and award the debate.
On behalf of Debating SA, I would like to congratulate both teams today on a invigorating and intense debate worthy of a grand final. I would also like to thank the audience for their attendance and the Government of South Australia for allowing us to use their venue for this incredible occasion. In unanimous decision, the panel of adjudicators would like to award this debate to the Affirmative team. I'd like to once again congratulate both teams for their efforts tonight, and I'd like to wish everyone a lovely afternoon. Thank you.
I call upon a member of the runner-up team from St. Aloysius College to give a vote of thanks.
First of all, thank you to Glenunga for being an amazing team to debate against. Your team is incredibly skilled and put up some excellent arguments. Thank you to the chairman and timekeeper for keeping our debate on track. Thank you so much to the 5 adjudicators who have judged fairly and made sure that this debate could happen. We would like to say a big thank you to our coaches, Ms. Kosh and Ms. Fafai, and all the coaches for helping us throughout the debating season. Your feedback and support has been extremely valuable to all of us. Thank you to Debating SA for organising the season this year. And finally, thank you to everyone who has come today. Thank you to all the parents, teachers, family and friends who have helped us and endlessly supported us throughout the debating season. Thank you.
I call upon a member of the winning team from Glenunga International High School to second that vote of thanks.
We'd like to say thank you to the opposing team for putting up a great debate and giving us some great arguments. We'd also like to thank Debating SA for giving us the opportunity to participate in this competition, the audience for attending and listening to our debates, the parents, the teachers and coaches for helping and supporting us, and also our team member Ashan Oak, who could not be here today, but we still value his part in our team, and also Ms. Betteridge, our coach and mentor. Thank you.